sustenance for the Anunnaki heroes, now revered as gods by the people. In return for prayers and affection, offerings were expected to be presented. In the cities and in the orchard, in the valleys and in the hills, the earthlings for food were constantly foraging for their beloved gods. In those days, grains had not yet been brought forth. There was no ewe. A lamb had not yet been fashioned. About these matters, Enlil to Enki angry words was saying, by your doings confusion was created, by you let salvation be devised. Now this is the account of how civilized man was brought into place. By a secret of Enki, two unknown earthlings named Alpha and Titi in the Aden were brought forth by Enki. By the proliferation of the earthlings, Enki was pleased but was worried. The lot of the Anunnaki was greatly eased, their discontent was diminished. By the proliferation, the Anunnaki shunned toil, the earthling workers as slaves were they becoming. For 7 Shahs, the Anunnaki's lot was greatly eased, diminished was their discontent. By the proliferation of the earthlings, what by itself was growing for all insufficient was. In 3 more Shahs of fish and fowl there was a shortage. What by itself grows, Anunnaki and earthlings did not satiate. In his heart, Enki, a new undertaking, was scheming. To create a civilized, intelligent earthling in his heart, he conceived grains that are sown by them to be cultivated. How this to attain he contemplated. The primitive workers in the Abzu he for this scheme observed. The earthlings in the Eden, in the cities and in the orchards he considered. What could for the tasks make them suited for? What by the life essence and DNA has not been combined? The offspring of the earthlings he observed. An alarming matter he noticed. By their repeated copulations, back toward their wild ancestors, they were degrading. Later, Enki decided his consciousness he transferred into an avatar body of his liking, and relative to the appearance of the earthlings. In the marshlands, he looked about on the rivers he sailed and observed. With him was only Isimud, his vizier, whose secrets he kept. On the river's bank, bathing and frolicking earthling women he noticed. 2 females among them were wild with beauty, firm were their breasts. Upon their sight, the phallus of Enki caused to water, a burning desire he had. Shall I not kiss the young ones? His vizier Isimud inquired of Enki. I the boat will hither and row towards them. Kiss the young ones, Isimud to Enki was saying. The boat there to Isimud directed. From the boat to dry land, Enki stepped in the appearance of man. A young one to him Enki called, a tree fruit she to him offered. Enki bent down, the young one lie embraced. On her lips he kissed her. Sweet were her lips, firm with ripeness were her breasts. Into her womb he poured his seed, in a mating he knew her. Into her womb she took the second young one to him Enki called, berries from the field she offered him. Enki bent down, the young one he embraced, on her lips he kissed her. Sweet were her lips, firm with ripeness were her breasts. Into her womb he poured his seed, in a mating he knew her. Into her womb she took the holy seed, by the seed of the Lord Enki she was impregnated. With the young ones he stayed, whether pregnancies come about ascertain. So was Enki to his vizier Isimud. Akin was Anunnaki, beside stature in many ways. Indeed they are, Enlil to his brother said. A wonder of wonders it is, in the wilderness by themselves to have come about. Isimud was summoned. Among the bulrushes in reed baskets I found them, he said. Enlil the matter with graveness pondered, with amazement his head he shook. Indeed a wonder of wonders it is. A new breed of earthling on earth has emerged. A civilized man has the earth itself brought forth. Farming and shepherding, crafts and tool-making he can be taught and master greater than we. So was Enlil to Enki saying, let us of the new breed to Anu word send. Of the new breed word let seeds that can be sown be seeded. So did Enki and Enlil to Anu the suggestion make. By civilized man, Anunnaki and earthlings can become satiated. Anu the words heard, by the words he was amazed, that by life essences one kind to another They were Ansha and Kisha. Systems, these words he sent back to them. That on Earth a civilized man from the Adamu so quickly appeared, that is unheard of. To sow and nurture, significant numbers are required. Perhaps the entities intended for propagation are incapable. As the scholars on Nibiru pondered this issue, in Eridu occurrences of import took place. Adapa and Titi mated, and Adapa poured his seed into her womb. There was conception, there was birth-giving to twins, 2 brothers. Titi gave birth. Word of birth to Anu on Nibiru was beamed. The twosome for conception are compatible. Proliferation by them can occur. Let on earth farming and shepherding begin. Let us all be satiated. So did Enki and Enlil to Anu on Nibiru say. Let Titi in Eridu remain, and the newborns to suckle and nurture. Let Adapa the earthling to Nibiru be brought. So did Anu his decision declare. By the pleased, whoever of this would have thought that by a primitive worker fashioning, like us, the being would become. With knowledge, endowed, between heaven and earth, they will now travel. On Nibiru, the waters of long life he will drink, the food of long life he will eat. Like one of us, Anunnaki, shall the one of earth become. So was Enlil to Enki, and the other leaders saying. By the decision of Anu, Enki too was not pleased. Sullen was his face after Anu had spoken these words for Adapa. After Enlil had spoken, with Enlil his brother Enki agreed. Indeed, who of this would have thought? So to the other leaders did Enki say. The brothers sat and contemplated. Ninharsag with them was also deliberating. The command of Anu cannot be avoided. To them she said, let Adapa by our young ones to Nibiru be accompanied. His fright to diminish, to Anu things will be explained. So did Enki to the others say, let Ningish Zida and Dumuzi his companions be. By the way, Nibiru for the first time with their eyes also to see the new earthling. By Ninharag was the suggestion favored. Our young ones are earthborn, of Nibiru they are not aware. It's who greeted each one and bid them welcome. They to you will give. The elixir is death, do not drink. With you Ningish Zida and Dumu. See, my sons will journey, to their words hearken, and you shall live. So did Enki to Adapa instructed. This I shall remember, Adapa said. Enki summoned Ningish Zida and Dumuzi. To them a blessing and advice was given. My father and your grandfather, you are coming. Homage pay. By Atlantean princes and nobles, do not be coward. Of them you are their equals. To bring Adapa back to earth is your mission. By Nibiru's delights be not charmed. This we shall remember. Ningish Zida and Dumuzi said. His young one Dumuzi, Enki embraced. On the forehead he kissed him. The wise one Ningish Zida, Enki embraced. On the forehead he kissed him. A sealed tablet in the hand of Ningish Zida, unseen he placed. To my father Anu this tablet in secret you shall give. So did Enki to Ningish Zida say. Then the two with Adapa to Sipa departed. To the place of the celestial chariots they went. Anu's vizier, the 3 of them themselves presented. To Ningish Zida and Dumuzi, the garb of Igigi was given. Like celestial eagles they were dressed. As for Adapa, his unkept hair was shaven. A helmet as that of an eagle he was given. Instead of his loincloth, a tight-fitting vestment he was made to wear. Between Ningish Zida and Dumuzi, Inside that which ascends he was placed. When the signal was given, the celestial chariot roared and shuddered. In fright did Adapa cower and cry out, "The eagle without wings is soaring." Upon his sides, Ningish, Zida, and Dumuzi, their arms placed, with soothing words they him calmed. When 1 league aloft they were borne, upon the they